Hey everybody, it's Adam Abramowitz once again coming to you from the Army Painter. We are at day 2, the final day of our terrain building challenge. Now our boys, Bo and Jonas, have rested up. They were knackered after their marathon of terrain building yesterday, but they're back in the studio this morning and they're going to get started on the last half of this challenge. They're going to begin painting and priming their models, finishing them off with all kinds of Battlefields products. It's going to be really exciting. We are in the fourth quarter, the final period, the end game now. So let's check in with the boys to see how they're feeling as we head into this final round.
Damn. Day 2.
Morning.
Good morning. Yesterday can be described as a long day. I'd say it's a very long day. It's not unusually long in prospect of painting an army or doing your hobby kind of thing, but it was standing up talking most of the time for 10 hours straight, which I can feel. I'm not 20 anymore. I know I look 20, like an old 20-year-old, but
it was actually a really good, fun process.
Yeah.
Didn't know what the challenge was. Building scenery, I've done it many times before, but this was sort of on the spot. I'm quite pleased with what I managed to do. I did find that at the end my creativity was sort of winding down and it became more like a machine. And I did another scenery piece, another piece, another piece. So out of we have two packs of booster packs, which is 14 sheets. I have 3 left and I'm quite pleased with that. I can come back when I get a new idea later on.
Yeah. Well, mine was a bit of industrial work, pun intended, obviously, with the type of scenery I made. And I must admit, after the first 6 hours, it was really fun to make all the individual pieces, but you had to repeat them, and it had to be the same and the same measurements, and there was not a lot of room for artistic creativity. That was like painting an army in the old days, where you make all the boots on your 100 Empire soldiers, and then all the swords, all the faces, and it's it's the only way to get through a project like this. But it was it was what it was. It was fun in the beginning, as it usually is, and I wish that I could be more creative about it. But that was not the purpose of what I did here. So,
but it is hard work. On the other hand, 2 days we have a full set scenery.
Oh, it's day 2. We haven't finished yet.
Oh yeah. Well.
And playing with unpainted is boo-hiss.
Yeah.
There is that. I have 3.5 sheet left. That means that I've used 1.5 package of booster packs, and I was amazed. I mean, the cans did take up a lot of space on the table, but very, very little XPS foam, saving me a lot of that. Obviously exciting to see how the spray will attach to it, which is since I've been on that horse. But I'm watching off as well. I can actually make 2 3-story buildings more and 2 small ones.
Yeah.
So that's kind of cool.
That's cool.
Yeah.
I'm really looking forward to it. Now, for me, the fun part begins now with the painting. I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah. Assembly is fun when you can convert, but if you have to make 100 miniatures that are all the same, I suppose the fun leaves it. Now we get into the more creative bit. I love that too.
Yeah. Good.
Cool. Good day. Let's see.
You're still gonna lose them.
All right, you heard it here first. They are both tired but excited to see how their tabletop terrain finally pans out in this final day of the challenge. Now it's time for the boys to get shaking, quite literally. They have to head outside, get those primer cans in good shape, and begin priming those terrain pieces.
Is removed. This is actually an important
and I basically it's very simple. Now you put glue on and you can piece. And why?
So the thing with these full Game Master series, just go. Missed.
Right, onto the competitive terrain. Oh, covers extremely well. This will work the inside out. I will not. Side, making sure I've got an even. So I need to get into every recess because. So I'm sticking to the big.
Coming out. See now. Size 50 ml because I'm going to make it flow much better like a wash. We're going to apply the rune. Just to make it a little bit less at this stage because I'm then removing it again might seem doesn't matter that it's not precise, which is amazing. Like this, just see how the XPS foam comes to life. More bone colors, which is to blend the two together. So focusing on the edges. Few stages to just paint the room.
I just want to take a quick minute to fill you in a little bit. Now, yesterday we leaked a very new product that we are going to be introducing to the Game Master range. These are the terrain kits. Now, I want to just let everybody know these are still very much work in progress. They're very much still prototype and in development. So what you see the boys using in the video yesterday and today might not exactly be what is in the final boxes when we are able to bring them to market. And we hope to bring them to market very soon. So just a quick reminder, these are still in development. We just couldn't pass up the opportunity to put them to the test in a very real competition scenario. Let's check back in and see how the fellas are doing.
Add some base a bit. There's no real. It's not a wash all over the place. That's not. You can see in here. I'm gonna do. And while the paint is still wet, you can see it on the camera here. There's some streak. First, I'll have a dry brush, and then for the edging. Don't know whether you can see it on camera, but so. You'll remove some of the effect. So if it's too, so clear it around to really stand out like this. And now is to do effects. A little bit on gravity will work. I think it's enough. Enough like that. And basing. Highlight to the. Sorry, it might not be the best camera angle, but I'm just. Pick up a tuft, dip the two different ones, be on 6 or 7 top scenery piece. Now that's been obviously impaled. He's been hanging there for a while, dripping. Don't be shy with the goo. Have a big pile of goo, and then it will look like it's wet. And obviously it's coming out of the pipe, so we need to. For reason I'm gonna put close like that. Cool. In one go. So this like static where it's a tufton. Spray it out like this. Extra. Give it a good shake. Just for some bloopers around the places where you want like does is that it just creates another effect what you want here. The right way. Kind of damage and then some spill. I suppose in the 41st minute. Now. Afterwards. Just give it on the edges where you're gonna, on the sides, and it's not a finish line. Done.
Done.
It's been a challenge as always when we battle. It's been two very different tasks.
Indeed.
Looking at the 40k competitive table, it's a bit smaller, compressed the scenery a little bit more on your table. The 60 times 44 inches really makes it very claustrophobic to play these days. Obviously, assault armies and that kind of stuff have a field day. You can walk through ruins, do whatever you want to do. But the amount of scenery on it is what the WTC suggests. Not exactly their setup, but the amount of scenery. And this makes me look at it when I see it. All this was 1.5 box of
Foam.
Yeah, it was. And I think I managed to hit the toxic feel and a very standard 40k table, to be honest. I mean, you've seen these ruins 100 places, but there's a distinct difference to the ruins, I feel. It's the fact that the XPS foam and really every single little hammer with the stone can just be seen very crisp and clearly.
I don't think you hammered them enough.
Everything's been utilized here. Apart from obviously the goo factor, but it could be anything. It could be oil. You could use the dark tone for oil if you want to. You can even take the dark tone on the actual scenery and just tone it even more down, make streamers so it looks like oil being running down. I mean, you don't have to buy that extra bit.
No.
It's just extra, really.
Yeah, in fact, you've actually gone for a lot of goo and not that much blood, but you could have done the opposite round if you
I
wanted.
could indeed, yes. Different approach, different table, I must admit.
It's a Crusader table.
Absolutely. I mean, brilliant idea with the Eldar stuff. I mean that was just cool. I mean, and just look how different it is. I mean, it's the color. It's just striking. The spray.
Yeah, I think it's, to be honest, the difference in these two is yes the shapes and all that, but it's the spray. And the spray, whether you use one spray or the other spray, it's the same work. But all of a sudden, we have a completely different setup.
Yeah. And I was just thinking, I mean, if I've drawn this one, I mean, it's like the spray job. Doing this by hand normally would take forever. I mean, you lose the spray black and then you move on. But just if that was over here, completely different look as well. Yeah. I mean, I actually want to make competitive now with that. Just seeing the techniques you used, they were brilliant. Obviously, the Eldar bits, I don't think I can do that, but maybe it didn't.
I think actually the Eldar bits is one thing. I think what I really like in the set is that you get the desert colours, but then you get this orangey, dry rust-ish type of colour that really adds a lovely, super contrast to this.
Yeah. It looked like the scenery is wounded.
Yeah.
I love that effect. That is really cool. And the blue contrast just strikes it down. I mean, it's really good. For a Crusade thing, it's really good, I must admit. Obviously not as, but...
What I hear you saying is that you really like my style, my stuff, and probably, and if it was up to you, that would probably be the winner.
We're on camera, I'm polite here. So basically, obviously, if you go close, I mean, yours is really great on a distance. You cannot get close enough to mine. I mean,
no, that's it. That is true.
The beating with that rock just did it for me. I mean, that was cool. But all in all, I can say another challenge.
Another challenge.
Well done. 2 days.
Good fun.
Good fun. Yeah. And the cool thing is, there was the first time we tried to make real scenery with this, and it's so easy. I mean, obviously, a bit more talented on the artistic thing, but even for the simple competitive stuff, you can make it look really cool. Pick any color you want, make any sort of theme you want, and still have it really playable. For the Crusade, there's just the sky's the limit. I mean, you should make an ice table next. That would be cool.
That would be cool.
So, thank you for watching the show, and obviously you know where to vote. So let's see them come in. Thank you.
So let's take a look one more time in a bit closer detail of Bo and Jonas's final creations. Bo's challenge once again was to create a table for competitive play. So he followed the principles commonly found in the ITC and the WTC, otherwise known as the World Team Championships, terrain packets. And I think he did a superb job of creating uniform pieces that are still visually stunning. Jonas, on the other hand, was able to get a bit more creative with the organic shapes commonly found on Elder homeworlds because his focus was on the more narrative style terrain. While Bo used the hot wire foam cutter for ruin and rubble, Jonas used it as a fine precision tool to create gentle shapes. And the end result is a totally immersive setting for your beer and pretzels game. Looking at each of the terrain pieces close up, you can really see how each of our competitors put their terrain primers and the terrain kits to use, along with the additional products that they purchased off the tool and paint racks with their Dip It dollars. And I have to admit, I'm a bit surprised and very impressed myself that they were able to create these 2 tables in 2 days. Very well done, boys. I think we owe both Bo and Jonas a huge round of applause for their efforts in this 2-day challenge. I'm still extremely impressed that they were able to come up with these 2 completed tabletops worth of terrain in just 2 days. Now, our goal with the Game Master range of products was to showcase not only how simple and easy it can be to build your own terrain, but how fun it can be. So I hope that you picked up a few tips for you to bring home when you're creating your own tabletop terrain. That's it for now. Now it's time for you to vote. Be sure to vote in the comments. Let us know whose table you liked the best. Was it Mr. Bo Pensoff's, the competitive table with the uniformity and all of the rubble and ruin? Or was it Jonas's table, the narrative-themed Elder Craft World with the fine-tuned organic shapes? We can't wait to hear what you think, and we'll see you next time.